Salvun and Reagan handed this to me in person. Reagan is probably Ginkgo's favorite, so Reagan gets a thumbs up in my book. If Ginkgo likes him, I like him. So today we're building the Redemption. This is the 65% successor to the Salvation as listed on the product page. It will be available in 8 colors, and then you'll have 2 choices of the back weight. For the PCB, you get to pick hot swap or solder, so you can add on different stuff. So there's an FR4 plate, alu plate, brass plate, copper plate, extra PC plate. So you have 5 plate options. The Salvation was hyped and there was a lot of orders. So this is kind of like the successor, but it's a 65%. So if you have a Salvation and you're like, oh man, I wish it was like a 65%. Well, luckily there is the Redemption. Here I'm gonna show you guys the different colors. So this was actually given to me to showcase. These are all the chips for the different finishes and different colors of the Redemptions that you can get. These first 2 are basically the back weights, so you can get the black brass or you can get this one, the clear coated brass. So the idea behind this is, like content creators get like 1 to 2 colors max, and people will ask, well, what do the other colors look like? And then we just have to redirect them to the product page, which are usually renders, or to other content creators. But now you can see the color that I have, but then you can see, using the same camera I use, all the other different colors. So these 2 are the 2 different weights. So you have the matte black and then you have the clear coat. And then here are the finishes for the case. Ooh. This is actually called slag or copper slag. So this is the actual finish that you'll see on the board. And then here is the avalanche. Here is the raw sapphire. This one is the raw emerald. So this is the one I wanted. Alex snagged it. So you have these finishes, and then you have the textured ones. So you have texture red, texture black. So I have the textured red, and then there's a polycarbonate. This one is textured white. So as you can see, there are the 3 texture colors. You have black, red, and white. And then you have polycarb as its own separate materials. And then you have these raw emerald. This one is called raw sapphire, avalanche, copper slag. So this is how all the colors will look on my camera. I will say the board does not have RGB. I was debating between the polycarb textured or one of these like bead blaster ones. And I was like, if the board has RGB, I want polycarb, but it does not have it. So that's why I ended up going texture red. Here's the actual board itself. So it comes with a PC plate, but you have other plate options if you would like. And then here is the board. Check it out. Whoa, textured red. So that was the front. This is the side. Here's the back. Here's the USB port side. And then here is the front. So as you can see, it is one solid piece, except for the internal weight. And this is where the mounting would go. This one is textured red with clear coat weight. This in total would go for around 350 USD. Uses leaf springs. Everything you get when you order it, so it's pre-order right now, you get a case, you get the internal weight, it comes with the PC plate on seat. You can pick between hot swap or solder. You get the feet. I guess depending on the color you get, the feet are also different color. Hardware pour-on, and then a custom carrying case. Manufactured by Salvun in Belgium. Timeline, it's looking like the pre-order launches April 26th, and then it closes on the 23rd, so about a month. And it should be fulfilled November 2024. If you're interested in this, I think the NA vendor is Space Cables, and then you can also order from Salvun himself. PCB time. So it's a Wilbur PCB. I love red PCBs. I don't know about you guys, but I love red PCBs. So there's no flex cuts. So this is the hot swap, no RGB. There's no actual physical reset button, no indicators for like caps. I like that Salvun and Reagan both have these like hardware bags. So you have different plate options, but default you get the PC. It's interesting because you have cuts around the alphas. only circling the alphas, nothing like inside the alphas, but you see that there are cuts surrounding it. So it's almost like if you were to just connect these lines, you can make it into like a half plate, or it kind of looks like a half plate, right? And then the other plates you have is copper, brass, alu, and FR4. I understand Finn's struggle because I was trying to film my Instagram stories and I was like filming it from above and I kept getting my feet into the video and I had to re-record the first one like 4 times because my feet just kept showing. And I was like, I can't do that. So I had to re-record and get the right angle. Actually, in one of the videos, so for the Neo Ergo, it has the shiny wrap on it, and then you can see like me in my PJs. And I thought about re-recording it. I was like, it doesn't matter. At least it's not that bad. But that's one of the worst things is like whenever I don't have camera on and I have a keyboard with the stainless steel shiny weight and I like do this to like show you guys and then it like shows my like potato self. It's like, frick. Damn it. That's going to be all the sound tests, so let's talk about the board. This is the Redemption. This is actually in pre-order right now. And also to mention, the leaf springs, they're going to be pre-cut, so you don't have to break them yourselves. And then the PCB that I have is red, but the PCBs are going to be black for production. It's basically a tray mount, but the mounting points are leaf spring and they move up and down. And then to keep this in place, instead of using like friction fit like an O-ring, it uses 2 screws that you screw right here and here. So you screw this onto the leaf springs to keep it in place so it won't fall out. But basically you unscrew these 2 and then you should be able to just like pull it out like that. And then here are the leaf springs. So there's 2 sides to it. So you have one side where you have the silicone bump on. So this is what creates the bouncy effect on the PCB. You have the other side, which is what is screwed into the case itself, right? To keep it in place. And then in order to keep this from bottoming out so that you don't hear this leaf spring hit the case, there is a middle gasket. So kind of like a seesaw, right? So this has been screwed down and then you have the gasket to keep this from going all the way down. And then this part does move, but it doesn't go all the way down and it bounces up and down. So when you type on it, there shouldn't be anything like metallic-y hitting each other because you have all these silicone bump-ons. Here you can see that these have the 2 washers, and this is where the screws from the top piece would go in. So here's what it looks like. So you have these gaps in the board. So here you have the middle gasket. The screw point is where you would screw in the leaf spring, and then you see that gap is for this like big washer, because you have to use a screw to keep the washer right here in place. And this washer is used for securing the PCB in. But if you look at this one, which has nothing to do with keeping the PCB in place, you see it's missing that hole. This hole is just so that the screw doesn't hit the case. Neat. But yeah, it's the board. Thank you, Salvun. Thank you, Reagan, for asking me to build it. Appreciate it. Okay, but yeah, that's the build. I am very hungry, so I'm gonna go eat.